We are here today to talk about edema.
Per parlare di edema dobbiamo capire
First of all, it is very important to know which are the body districts involved in the edema genesis.
nella genesi dell'edema
They are three: the capillaries,
i capillari sanguigni,
the lymphatic vessels,
i vasi linfatici,
and the interstitial tissue. What is their role in the edema genesis?
nella genesi dell'edema.
Capillaries transport the oxygenated blood to the tissues, transferring oxygen and nutrients.
Portare il sangue
In exchange, the waste from the cells, including carbon dioxide, are transferred into the blood.
e porta via l'anidride carbonica dal tessuto. Quindi
Therefore, capillaries are really essential for cell viability.
in caso di edema, ad esempio,
But what happens in case of edema, like after a sprain or a trauma? A greater amount of blood arrives in the capillaries, resulting in an internal pressure much higher than normal. Hydrostatic pressures alters the microvascular walls, impairing the endothelial cells adhesion and then the barrier to fluid and solute flux. The liquid portion of the blood floods all the cells of the surrounding interstitial tissue.
si dilata
If the stimulus persists, the distance between the endothelial cells increases, and the larger molecules such as mineral salts, proteins like fibrinogen, or even red blood cells may pass through the endothelial barrier, collecting in the interstitial spaces and causing edema. In the latter case, edema becomes hematoma or hemorrhagic edema.
quindi questo liquido, questi sali
But let's focus our attention only on edema. The liquid leak towards the interstitial tissue inevitably leads to swelling, like in a ankle after a sprain. How does tissue react to this excessive liquid leak? Firstly, it triggers a defensive inflammatory phenomenon,
innesca una flogosi per difendersi, ma la flogosi essa stessa
but inflammation triggers internal edema because it draws more blood in situ, enhancing a positive feedback.
vizioso
And what about lymphatic vessels? Physiologically, the lymphatic system is responsible for the drainage of the interstitial fluid from the tissues to the bloodstream. But in case of edema, it isn't able to transport all that excess liquid, and so it must work more hardly, causing a lymphatic failure and then a persistent edema.
maggiore, ma spesso non ce la fa, può andare in uno scompenso.
It is just in this moment that it is really important a therapeutic approach, like, for example, intervening on the capillaries,
Solo sui capillari possiamo intervenire
on the lymphatic vessels, or only on the cells of the interstitial tissue. But what would happen if we work on all the three districts at the same time? We would surely obtain the resolution of edema in a short time, because the action of the capillaries may reduce the permeability and may get closer to the endothelial cells, stopping the excess liquid leak from the vessels.
smette di fuoriuscire dal capillare. L'intervento sui
In addition, the action on the lymphatic vessels may enhance the drainage activity, and the action on the tissue may reduce inflammation, and as a consequence reduces the continuous stimulus to the release of excessive liquid.